Welcome to the show. Here's my dad.
On this episode of the Infant Adoption Guide podcast, I'll share the 4 steps to finding and choosing the right adoption agency for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Infant Adoption Guide podcast. My name's Tim Elder. This is where we talk all about domestic infant adoption. I'm a dad of 3 through infant adoption. You get inspiration, hope, resources to start on your adventure, continue that adventure all the way through about what you're thinking about 24/7, which is building your family through adoption. So thank you for joining me today. And this is a special episode because it's just you and me talking about adoption. I wanted to do this because I get a lot of people asking me how to start the infant adoption process and then how to find the best adoption agency. Not just any adoption agency, but the right adoption agency. So maybe this is you, and I've been in your shoes. You're certainly not alone. It can feel completely overwhelming if you're just starting the journey and you don't know where to start, what to do first, where to find answers. So today we're going to help you, because one of the first things to consider when starting your journey is choosing an adoption agency. It's one of the first and biggest decisions really you'll make, and it's kind of one of the most difficult ones as well, because the choices are overwhelming. There are thousands of agencies, literally thousands of agencies to choose from. And the one right down the street may not be the best one for you. And each one of them can look like they operate a little bit different from the next. So what makes a great agency? Who can I trust? How do I find agencies to work with? We're going to help cut through that confusion. We're going to obliterate overwhelm and just learn how to find the right ones. So I've created a brand new guide that helps you answer these questions. And that's what we're going to dive into today. It's called How to Find the Right Adoption Agency in 4 Steps. It's a free resource for you. You can go to findmyadoptionagency.com right now and get that free resource. And it helps you walk through these, what we're going to talk about today, these 4 steps, how to evaluate them, how to choose the right one for your journey, and go to findmyadoptionagency.com and get that free guide. All right. So today we're going to jump right in and talk about these. And the 4 steps really are, the first one is there's 4 things you need to consider before even choosing an adoption agency. Step 2 is to make a list of those agencies. Step 3 is to create your top 10 list. And step 4 is just interview them, evaluate them, and pick one. So those are the 4 steps. We're going to dive into them right now. Step 1, 4 things to consider before you choose an agency. This is an important step. It's kind of building the foundation here, because these 4 things are very important to your journey. Something you can't just forget about, dive into your journey, because an agency is going to ask you these questions anyway. So you might as well think about them ahead of time. And the first one is, what's your adoption budget? Most domestic infant adoptions cost between $25,000 and $40,000, and some of them maybe more. And I know that number may be startling to you and maybe just overwhelming to you, but thousands of people adopt every year. You can do it too. Don't let those big numbers scare you away, because you can figure out how much and how fast you can get money together. And you don't have to have it all in one time. It's not due all immediately, but you need a budget. You need a plan. Agency fees are usually due in 3 phases: at the start, when you match with an expectant mom, and then when the baby's placed with you. So I advise you to go to fundyouradoption.tv. They have some great advice, great tools and resources, grants, and which is free money, and just different ways to raise money or find money or save money for your adoption. All right, the second thing to consider is, do you want to adopt a boy or a girl? Agencies may try to talk you out of having a gender preference, like, do you want to adopt a boy or a girl? They might just tell you, hey, it's going to take you longer if you want to adopt a boy or a girl. You should be open to both. And and I agree with that. It will probably take you longer if you only want a boy or only want a girl. But think about that. So something to think about before you start your adoption journey, if you're open to either a boy or a girl. Number 3 is adopting a child of a different race than you. Now, this is a sensitive topic. It's a big topic. We've talked a lot about it on the podcast. And I would go to check out the episodes that we've done. Had some transracial families on. We've had some experts talking about transracial adoption. And it's not for everyone, but you can do this. But you need to consider how you're going to handle it. How are you going to handle being a transracial family, especially when it comes to your friends, your extended family? You can do this. Just things that you need to consider, things you need to think about. And we've had quite a few episodes on the show, on the Infant Adoption Guide podcast, talking about it. So I would recommend going and listening to those episodes. And the fourth thing to consider is adopting from another state. If you adopt from another state rather than your home state, it could allow you to adopt faster because you're reaching out to more expectant moms who are considering adoption. It could cost you a little more because you're going to have some travel costs going to and from other states. We did that on all 3 of our adoptions, but it did shorten our time and it increased our reach. You will have to stay there probably 1 to 2 weeks while legal paperwork is completed in your home state and the state where the baby's born. For us, it was worth it. We don't live in a highly populated state. It would have took us a lot longer if we tried to adopt only from our home state. Something to consider in your first step. See, these are 4 things in step 1 to consider before choosing an agency. All right, step 2, we get into a little bit of the nitty gritty here. It's making a list of agencies, and there are a lot of places to find them, but you want to find agencies that are licensed. They have affiliations with trusted adoption sources. And the place I recommend going, a couple places actually, is the National Council for Adoption at adoptioncouncil.org. Because if you use a member agency of their organization, it gives you a little bit of peace of mind because that agency is credible, reliable, operates in an ethical, transparent manner. They're reputable agencies in that directory, adoptioncouncil.org. There are a couple other places you can go look as well. If you can obviously Google an adoption agency near me, and you'll find some. There are some national agencies like American Adoption that is out there that will just work with anybody across the entire U.S. So you can Google national adoption agencies as well, but try to use those places to come up with at least a list of at least 20 agencies. And these agencies, you need to fit your basic criteria, like your budget. Do they specialize in domestic infant adoption? Because that's what you want. Or do they have any restrictions that will affect you, such as age or marriage, how long you've been married, anything like that? You want to create a spreadsheet of these agencies of your list. So I recommend doing that. Create a quick little spreadsheet. You can do it online on Google Sheets, or you can use Microsoft, whatever you want to use, your favorite spreadsheet app. Start creating a list. Agency name, the website, their contact info, what states they're licensed in, how long have they been helping people adopt, the number of adoptions they complete every year is a big one, the average wait time from start to placement, their total costs, including a breakdown of all the fees. Can they complete a home study for you? And then it's very important to also think about and ask them about the support they provide for expectant moms and support they provide for you. And a lot of this you can get right from their website. Most good adoption agencies will have all this information on their website. So I recommend getting as much as you can on those 20 agencies after you create your list. Get that information, plug it into your spreadsheet to start gathering information. You can also email them. You can request their information packets. Some of them even have on-site information meetings if they're close to you. Those are really cool if you are new to adoption and you're not sure what this whole adoption thing's about. They will try to sign you up and get you to work with them, but usually they offer these free informational meetings to say, hey, come here and learn about infant adoption. What is it going to take to adopt? We will tell you about the journey. It's a really good introductory way to learn about adoption that's not online. It's from somebody in person. But really, your goal for this step is to gather info on all these agencies, at least 20, that will meet your basic criteria. And you want to find ones that you want to learn more about. You don't have to dig up everything there is to know about them yet. Just find that ones that meet your basic criteria, at least 20, and we're going to move on to step number 3. Because step number 3 is taking that list of 20 or so agencies that meet your basic criteria and narrow your list. Step 3 is create your top 10 list. These are your top 10 favorites. Now, does it have to be exactly 10? No, but that's up to you. If you only find 9, that's fine, or 8, it's fine. But you want to find some to get picky about. This is where you're going to start narrowing your list, deciding, okay, what's better for us? Is it better for us to work with a smaller agency? Maybe because they have less staff, they have are more local. You can attend their meeting. You can work with them. You can go talk to them in person. Maybe it's better for you to have a larger agency because you have more staff and they have more staff people that can help you. But maybe they're not near you. Maybe they're further away, and they cost a little bit more, but they can walk you all the way through everything and have a larger outreach for expectant moms. When you're narrowing down your list, also think of ethics. Not all agencies are created equal. Pay attention how an agency treats an expectant mom. And you can do this online even. You can just look at their website and see the section that is for expectant moms. And do they feel like they're treating her well? Are they providing her support and care rather than being pushy, going, hey, adopt here, choose adoption, choose adoption, choose adoption? Be on the lookout for anything unethical, even coercive language you could find on there, like promising things that might sound too good to be true for her and for you. They may be promising some wait times that are ridiculous. We can find a baby for you in weeks, or that costs only $1,000. Or some just ridiculous things just are too good to be true. Go with your gut on these. They need to be supportive of the entire adoption triad, the child, expectant mom, and you, the adoptive family. When you go through and you're narrowing your list, though, you need to weigh the pros and cons of each of these agencies that before you decide which one's right for you. Because remember, there's no one-size-fits-all agency. Not every local agency is good for everybody. Not every national agency is good for everybody. You need to do your research, dig into these agencies to get down and narrow your list to the top 10, because only you really can decide which one's right for you, your needs, your situation. That's what we're going through this whole process for, is to help you think about it. So you're not just calling up the agency down the road and going, okay, I want to adopt, let's go. You want to dig in and learn more about them. They really need to be responsive too. They need to communicate well with you and have an eye for the detail. So your goal for this step is to create your top 10 lists out of the 20 or so that you've already got. Narrow this down to 10 agencies that you might want to work with. You probably want to work with. They look like they're really good to work with. Get that list down to about 10 or so. And as we head into the fourth and final step, this is where we're getting really down to the nitty gritty. We're going to interview them. We're going to evaluate them. We're going to pick one. Now, I warn you at this point, you might get to your top 10 and you just go, all right, any one of them's fine. I'll pick number 3 here. Boom. Just because you don't want to go on any further. You just want to pick one and go. I get that. Believe me, I've been in your shoes. I get that. And it might work out okay if you did it, but it's just not the best, not the great idea to have when you're trying to find the best agency for you. And so I recommend you just take it a little bit further. Take it one step further. Interview your top 10 favorites. Or maybe it's not 10. Maybe you go, you know what? Really, there's only 5 here I would care about interviewing. That's fine. You're taking a deep dive into who they are, how they work, trying to figure out if they really are the right agency for you. And that comes down to asking the right questions. You want to ask how the process works from beginning to end. You want to ask how they communicate with you along the way. What happens if something goes wrong? You want to know all their fees. Accurately compare their fees and services to other agencies you've got on your list. The goal is to get all your questions answered here, and don't be shy. Ask them all. And I would say don't just email your questions either. I would set up an appointment with them. Talk to them over the phone or a video, Zoom, someplace where you can actually get more of a feel about them by talking to them, and they're not just sending you canned answers through email. Because this really gives you more time to review how you feel about them. You get more of a gut feeling when you talk to somebody. And so I would ask for, have them answer all your questions, but also ask for reference families. These are people that have already successfully adopted through their agency, and you want to talk to them. You want to talk to the people that already adopted and ask them some questions. What was good for them? What did they like? What did they not like? How did the whole process go for them? You're going to learn a lot about an agency if you talk to people who have already adopted. And yes, they'll try to send you their pick of the litter, the the perfect people in their minds that are going to say, yeah, we had a great, fantastic process with this agency. We love them, and that's okay. But it still gives you an opportunity to ask specific questions about what didn't you like, or what did you think could have gone better, and how well did they communicate. You can still get some information out of them that you can develop a gut feel about. So I highly recommend you doing that. Interview and evaluate all 10 of your agencies. And if you get down to 2 or 3 that you really like and you can't decide between the 2, go ask the reference families. Get some information from them. And that will really get you down to finding the nitty-gritty and getting down deep enough to find that one agency that you feel really good about. They're great on paper. They fit all your basic criteria. Your gut feeling about them is really good. The communication is really good. All the things are in line, and you're ready to pick them and say, all right, let's go for it. Let's sign a contract. Let's get working with you. So I hope you enjoyed all this information. I know it's kind of weird. I don't went through it fast. And I got it all written down for you because in this free guide, it's called How to Find the Right Adoption Agency in 4 Steps. We go over all this. So I talked a little bit more than what's in the guide here, but the general stuff is there. The checklist is there. You can go down exactly and take each step by step of what you need to do to pick an agency. And if you want to go further, if you want to go deeper, and if you want me to help you even more, I have a online course called Find My Adoption Agency. And if you go to findmyadoptionagency.com, that is how you can get this free guide, but you can also sign up to get notified when this course is going to be back open. And I open it periodically because I want to help people that get into the course. So it's not open all the time. If you want to get in the course, so all you need to do is put your email address down, and I can notify you when the course is coming in. I'm going to also give you some information about agencies as you wait for the course to open up. So, but it just gives you an opportunity for you and I to talk about choosing an agency, getting in there, and really going through the course and finding the right agency for you. And you'll note on the website, if you go to findmyadoptionagency.com, you'll see a couple there that Cheyenne and her husband that joined the course, and they got through it, and they just loved the course because it helped guide them step by step. And I give you a whole lot of extra resources. I create those spreadsheets for you. I give you a list of agencies so you don't have to come up with them yourself. And I just make it easy for you to go through these 4 steps, including how to raise money for your adoption, and just checklists and guides. And the course actually has a whole guidebook that comes with it, so you can follow step by step how to get through it. It's not overwhelming. There's not enough information in there. It's just going to blow your mind. It's just organized to help you get through it fast, so you're not waiting for 60 days or 90 days before you pick an agency. I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to pick the right one, and pick it quickly, because I know, being in your shoes, you don't want to sit and wait any longer. You've waited long enough. You chose to adopt. You want to dive in and get after it and bring that baby home that you've been dreaming about. I get it. I've done it 3 times. So go to findmyadoptionagency.com. Get started there. And if you have questions, email me, tim@infantadoptionguide.com. tim@infantadoptionguide.com. If you have questions and you want to know, or you're not clear on when the course opens, or you're not clear about what's in the course, all the stuff's on the website. But if you still have questions, email me. Be glad to talk to you, because in the end, I just want you to adopt faster, easier, with less risk and less cost. That's what it's all about, and that's what this episode's about. So go to the show notes at infantadoptionguide.com/84. Everything will be in there for you. Or you just want to go right to findmyadoptionagency.com. That's fine too. I hope you got a lot out of this episode. I enjoyed doing this quick little one. It was just you and me talking We'll do some more of these because I just enjoy giving you some information and some good resources on how to get your adoption journey done faster. So thank you. Until next time, thanks for listening. You are in my prayers as you go on the journey to build your family through infant adoption. God bless.
Thanks for listening to my dad.